Hello everyone and welcome to Foreman. Today we are here with another exclusive interview with Mr. Amit Lakhani. He is an entrepreneur and a men's rights activist. He is the founding president of Men Welfare Trust, who is raising his voice against the gender bias laws and demanding gender neutral laws. He is also an active member of Save India Family Foundation, who runs the only helpline number for men in distress. So let's welcome Mr. Amit Lakhani. Hello, Mr. Lakhani, and welcome to Foreman. And thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor for us to have you.
Thank you, Antara. It is an honor for me also to be here with you.
Mr. Lakhani ji, right now, there is one of the trending topic is marital rape, criminalizing marital rape. Sure. So what is your views on this? Because as we know that we already have a separate section under the DV Act. So still there are so many people who are, they want to criminalize marital rape, even though we all know that criminalizing marital rape will be something which can be destructive. So what are your opinions on this?
Well, Antara, you're right. In the name of marital rape law, a lot is being discussed these days in the media, in the social media, in the legal fraternity, and in the society in general. So, in a way, spousal sexual violence is already criminalized in India. And countries across world address this issue under the term of spousal sexual violence or partner violence. But in India, a narrative is being built up that, almost every marriage, the husbands are raping their wife and the husbands have a license to rape their wives, which is completely unfounded, I feel. I'm not saying that spousal sexual violence does not happen. It can happen with both. It can happen with husband and it can happen with a wife. When a wife is subjected to such a thing, it is not that legislature has blindfolded themselves and given no recourse to a wife. Like you rightly said, there are laws already in place. Let me tell you, there's a framework of laws, including 498A, which covers all sorts of cruelty, physical, mental, sexual. There is Domestic Violence Act, where a wife can seek protection orders. She can seek free legal aid. She can seek shelter home. She can get monetary relief. There is IPC 377 that talks about unnatural offenses and carries a sentence of up to 10 years. There is 376B IPC, and a rape case can be filed if the couple is separated. So wife already has recourses if she is violated. In fact, if there is a sexual act against the will or consent of a husband, there is no recourse available. And we never say that a husband was raped or a wife is a rapist in that case, because there are instances where, a husband may be tired or he may be unwell or he may not be in the right frame of mind. And there is a demand from the wife that, he has to, she wants to get into a sexual act, and the husband may give a consent under coercion or under, circumstances where he is not willing to do it. But in that case, we never say that a husband was raped or a wife is a rapist. But, there is a strong push these days to remove exception 2 in the IPC, so that the rape law that was legislated, keeping in mind the offense where the perpetrator is not a husband, to now be applied on the husband. So this was this law which was designed in a way that, it will be applied where the perpetrator is somebody other than a husband. They want this exception to be removed so that, this entire section can now be applied on husbands also. So now what happens? If we do this, we will also have to look into the other aspects of the law. We have to look into the amendments to the definition of consent. We have to look into the limitation period. We have to look into the elements to differentiate between a violent and a non-violent sexual act. The ingredients to, put checks and balance so that there is no blatant misuse. So if we do not look into all these aspects and only remove the exception in IPC 375, we are actually walking towards a disaster of indirectly bringing in another draconian law, which will be unconstitutional in many ways. And it will not just be unconstitutional, it will be easy to misuse law, which will just serve as a handle to wife to misuse and cash in from a failed marriage. If this comes in the way they are proposing, on a mere testimony, the husband and his family members would be behind bars. Family members, because there is a provision of gang rape as well, wherein the wife may say that my husband was raping me, and my sister-in-law, she locked the door from outside. My mother-in-law, she put something in the tea, or she spiked the drink and I became unconscious. So she can actually rope in the entire family members also. So the husband and the family members, they would be behind bars. The husband would lose his job, his money, his self-esteem. His children will be taken away from him. And even if after years of trial it is proved that it was a false case, he will never be able to regain what he lost. He would live a life with the stigma of being called a rapist. And other countries have gender neutral laws. Their laws, their offenses are graded offenses, unlike IPC 375, the rape laws in India. Those countries, they treat different forms of rape differently. There are stringent punishment for filing false cases there. There are options of therapy or pardon in case there is a non-consensual sex between partners, in case they want to they wish to reconcile and live together. And we in India are talking about removing one exception from IPC 375 to bring in a disaster, I will just say. And it will unleash a gender war 2.0. And this is being done just to satisfy ourselves that we are in the list of countries that have criminalized marital rape.
Yes, that is very true, because this is such an issue where the wife cannot produce any kind of evidence. We cannot even ask for any kind of evidence because we do not know what is happening in between that four walls. So if this is criminalized, then definitely the court is never going to listen to the his side of the story or to the man's side of the story. They will always favor the woman, because that's how it is.
It will be the onus of the husband to prove that the rape did not happen. And how the justice system in India is, how the investigating authorities are, how the police works. It will be a disaster. If a wife wants to just walk out of the relationship or walk out of the marriage, she will not even go and file a 498A case or a domestic violence case. She will simply go and file a marital rape case, and the case will go on for years together. And once there is exchange of money, once the case is settled, once she gets what she's demanding, then the same case will go to the courts for quashing. So it will become a mockery of the entire justice system, so to say. Yes, that is true. And like if we talk about men's rights commission or men's cell, then we have none in our country. But if you talk about women or children, then we have a lots of them, and there will be everybody standing like supporting the women. If anything goes wrong with the women, then we will have everyone supporting her. She will be backed by many people. But when we talk about men, anytime if we say that he has been abused by his wife or somebody else, then first of all that becomes a laughing stock, and then nobody comes step forward to support them. Even the men, they do not support another man. That is one of the that is something very terrible, and that should not happen actually. But still we do not have any men's rights commission, and it is actually getting very difficult to set up one. So what is your opinion on this? Like, why do you think it is so difficult to set up a men's rights commission when we so easily we have set up a women's rights cell, but that thing has not been possible till date, where we on a daily basis we are seeing there are so many cases where the women, they are misusing the laws which were actually meant to protect them. So what do you have to say about this? You're absolutely right, and I would say that anybody, irrespective of its gender, can be a victim of a crime, can be a victim of domestic violence, can be a victim of sexual harassment or rape. When a woman is a victim, you're absolutely right. The society stands by the woman when she's a victim. The media is always in the support. There are number of laws which are there to protect her. The judiciary is there for her. There are women's cell. There is women's commission. There is state women's commission, national commission for women, and there is an entire ministry with over 20,000 uh, crore of budget for the entire issue. The society stands by the woman. But when there is a man who says that I've been victimized, I'm a victim of domestic violence, or I've been, falsely implicated in a case, or I am not able to prove my innocence, there is nobody hearing me out. There is nobody, neither the society, nor the media, neither the laws, nor the judiciary. There is nobody for this man to, actually, there's nobody who stands by this man.
Yes.
And there has to be a political will to take steps like forming a commission for the welfare of men. Only if the government turns away from the woman appeasement politics and stop succumbing to the pressures by feminists to make anti-men, anti-society laws and policies, feminists who ask for gender-based privileges in the name of equality and promote blatant misuse of gender-based laws, which not only just curtail the life and liberty of innocent men, but derive a lot of men to die by suicide in absence of any forum, in absence of any platform that they can look up to when they are victimized.
Yes, yes.
In fact, India today witnesses over 1 lakh male suicides every year. And the largest reason for this suicide is, which is about 24%, is the domestic issues. It is the family problems. And blatant misuse of gender-based laws is one major thing. But there are so many other men's issues, such as, domestic violence against men, homelessness of men, shelter home for these men, rehabilitation of men, health issues, especially the prostate cancer deaths happening because of prostate cancer, and mental health issues of men. These are completely ignored issues as far as government policies are concerned, and we need a constitutional body. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. We need a constitutional body such as National Commission for Men to address these issues. At the moment, we don't even have a dedicated government helpline for these issues. We are from our organization, Save Indian Family, we are running a all India helpline for men in distress. The number of the helpline is 888-498-498. We get about 5,000-6,000 calls every month. And we try to selflessly help and support these men and their families, which have no voice, no support anywhere else. But yes, from the government side, a lot needs to be done, and a National Commission for Welfare of Men is something that we, the time has come that we should have one.
Yes, that is very true. And this is a very good initiative taken by you, that you are helping so many men selflessly, because it is something, this is the need of the hour actually, because in the current scenario, we are seeing that there are so many men who are committing suicide. After they commit suicide, there will be a lot of people will be saying that he was a coward and that's why he committed suicide. He was not brave enough and that's why he did that. But at that point of time, nobody thinks that what might have what he actually faced that became the reason for him ending his life, because nobody wants to end his life. That's a very tough decision by anyone, but that is something which no one wants to understand, and they just label him as a coward, and that is something I feel it is terrible. And here I would like to ask you one more question, that regarding the formation of Men's Rights Commission, do you think that the women politicians who are sitting over there, they are also responsible for this thing that is, we are struggling for, bring a gender neutral laws or to bring a Men's Rights Commission? Do you think that they are responsible for this, that they're having some kind of, they're doing some kind of manipulation in this thing?
I would say that they have been the Women's Commission or the NGOs which are working for the welfare of women. They have always been vouching that they are working for the gender equality. But the problem is that whenever we go and we say that we want gender neutral laws, which protects every gender equally, they come and start protesting that no, we don't want gender neutral laws. So in the name of equality, they are actually asking for gender based privileges for women. So nowhere in the progressive countries, in the Western countries, we see the laws which only protect one gender. There have been international conventions, international treaties, which talk about uplifting and protecting every citizen, irrespective of gender. And these people have been vouching to follow all these treaties and all these conventions. But when we talk about gender equal laws or a commission for men on the lines of women's commission, they are, always at the loggerheads with us, and they never are in support to have such a commission.
Yes, that is what, because whenever we talk about men's harassments and men's abuse, there will always be a lot of, we can say a pseudo feminist who will always come and say that no, this can't happen because we need this kind of rights. But what we see is that it feels like only the women, they have all kinds of rights, and the men, they have all kinds of duties. Women, they're not ready, not all, I'm not generalizing, but we can say 80% of the women, they feel that they have these rights, they need to get these rights, but they are not taking any kind of responsibilities. So that is something which needs to be stopped. And that's why we need, if we talk about equality, that equality should be equal for everyone, and it cannot be based on any gender.
Equal laws and equal responsibilities.
That's what people needs to understand. And the main thing is that there is very less awareness regarding this issue. Because I have spoken to so many men, when I say that no, we run an organization called For Men, or there are these NGOs, we are helping men, then the men, they will be like, oh, they like men, they also need some kind of commission, they also need rights, like men's rights is also required. And that is something shocking for me, because being a man, you are yourself asking that do men need some kind of extra rights? It's not some extra rights, it's actually the human rights. And because we do not have any kind of such laws which are protecting men from any kind of harassments or abuse, that's the reason we all are, today we are discussing this thing. That's the reason that we are striving to bring the gender neutral law.
Right.
Yeah. So my third question to you will be, like, according to, section 354 of IPC, a man can serve up to 3 years of sentence or a penalty for sexual harassment. But what about a woman committing the same thing? There is no any law for any women. They might, sexually abuse her spouse, but there is no any penalty, no punishment for her. So what do you think about this thing?
Well, this is an irony, that while our constitution, the Constitution of India under Article 14, talks about equality before law and equal protection of the law. Further, in Article 15, it also talks about no discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, or gender. But when it comes to legislating a law, there is a gender bias, and the laws are made in a way that it only protects one gender, and that's women, while completely ignoring men and now even other genders. Now, not just IPC 354, there are about 50 laws, including domestic violence law, spousal cruelty like 498A, maintenance law, workplace sexual harassment law, rape laws, etc., etc. They all give a pass in a case a woman is a perpetrator and a man is a victim. Like you said, 354A, the same offense committed by a man, there is a punishment. The same offense committed by a woman, there is no punishment. And they talk about equality.
Yes.
So while we have always believed that crime has no gender, but in India, under the pressure of these radical feminists, a genderization of crime, a genderization of pain, a genderization of dignity, all this has been, been happening for many, many years now. Wherein the pain, the dignity of a man has no value in the eyes of law, and in fact, in the larger section of the society also, like you were saying, that the society does not recognize the pain of a man, the dignity of a man. So it has to start from the society. It has to start from ourselves. The day we start recognizing the pain of men, and respecting men and women and all genders equally, and start considering all the issues with same sensitivity, the change will come.
Yes, agreed. And there is this, most controversial law ever, that is 498A. I know many people that do not even know about this law, that there is something called 498A, except those who have some kind of knowledge and those who have suffered from this thing, or those who have faced this law. So according to this law, any woman, if she is ill-treated by her in-laws or husband, mentally or physically, if she is abused, then she can throw them behind bars. But the irony here is that court will not ask for any kind of evidence, or she can take as much time to bring evidence. So do you think this is fair?
Right.
Do you think this is fair? Because what kind of law is this where you do not ask for
It's
evidence?
actually laughable. You
Yes,
know, section 498A, and nowhere in the world we have laws which presume that a woman will always be right and she can never lie. Section 498A of the IPC is one such blatantly misused law wherein a mere statement is enough to put a husband and his family members behind bars. And over the years, there has been a number of observations, even by Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has even called this, gross misuse of 498A legal terrorism. There has been arrest guidelines issued and whatnot, when it comes to the misuse of 498A. But even as on today, these guidelines are followed in very small number of cases, or maybe only in the metro cities. And a large number of cases, people are not even even the police does not follow these guidelines, and there is a misuse of power of arrest. And even till recently, close to 1.5 lakh persons, which include women who are like mothers, sisters, and the female family members of the husband, including elderlies, including even minor children who get arrested under 498A. And those who are arrested, more than 90% of those are found to be innocent.
yes,
Cases are just filed to mount pressure on the husband's family, so that maximum amount of money can be extorted from the husband's family in the name of out of court settlement. There has been judgments from the Supreme Courts and various high courts about this. In fact, after the Arnesh Kumar judgment in 2014, where the Supreme Court came down very heavily on the misuse of 498A, and the Supreme Court said that there is a tendency of filing false cases on the family and everything. We've started seeing that now what is happening is there is a tendency of filing false molestation cases, false rape or attempted rape cases on the male members of the husband's family, so that the arrest guidelines can be surpassed. And because of the fear of arrest, money can be extorted at all levels, at the level of a complaint, when the complaint is made at the CAW cell or a Mahila Thana, when there is the bail has to the person goes for a bail, that time, whenever there is a mediation. So at all levels, the husband and his family is pressurized that you pay this money, you succumb to the pressures, you agree for whatever we are asking for, otherwise you will go behind bars. And many succumb to the pressure, and many are not able to take all this pressure. And we have seen so many cases where the husband, or sometimes even the entire families, have given up on their lives. They've died by suicide because of the misuse of this one law alone. And this law is today nothing but a tool to satisfy vengeance, I would say. It is a tool to settle scores. It is a tool to extort money when the marriage is not working. And this law has done much, much more harm than any good to the society. I think it should either be scrapped or completely overhauled, because in today's time, such laws, has no place in the society. It will only bring disharmony in the society.
yes. That is very true. And Mr. Lakhani, do you think that such efforts are being made by the men's rights activists so that this particular law could be scrapped? Do you think such efforts are being made?
Well, over the years, for last about 17, 18 years, we have been raising the issue of misuse of 498A and other gender biased laws. We've reached out to the judiciary in the form of some judicial activism, PILs. We've reached out to the lawmakers, giving recommendations, going to the parliament, giving recommendations, and to the parliamentary committees. A lot has been done. and even a lot of awareness has happened in the society also. Now in whichever section of the society you go and you talk about 498A, people understand that most of these cases are false cases. People understand that how these laws are being misused, and this understanding has actually flown to the judiciary also. And there have been a number of observations by various high courts and also the Supreme Court, and the arrest, the harassment has come down to quite an extent, but still a lot has to be done, because innocent men have no say, they have no voice in the form of laws, wherein they can also go ahead and uh, say that I've been subjected to a cruelty. So these laws need to be either gender neutral. There has to be misuse, very strong misuse clause, wherein if it is found that the case was false, the person who's filed the false complaint should be stringently punished, so that there is some deterrent, there is some precedent in the society that it should not become a very easy task to just go and blame somebody, destroy his entire life, and just get away. So a lot has been done by the men's rights groups, but this is a long fight, and the opposite side is very strong. They have huge funding, and we people are just we are self-supported, self-funded people, working out of our own passions, working selflessly without any self-interest. So this is a long fight. This is fight between the right and the wrong, and it will take some time for the change to actually come, and to be able to be very, very evident in the society.
Yes, that is very true, because this is actually a tough battle, and we are very sure that we are going to win this sooner or later. But we have to be patient about it, because this is a fight between, as you said, it's a fight between right and wrong, and the wrong cannot, be there in the field for a long period of time in the battlefield. And as you said
सच
regarding
परेशान हो सकता है, पराजित नहीं हो सकता.
Ji, bilkul, bilkul. And as you said, that there's so many people who are being harassed because of this, false cases. Even I personally know some people, they are my friends, and they are going through such cases from a very long period of time, maybe 7 to 8 years. No evidence, nothing. It's a false case, but still, the case is still going on, and they are just helpless. And it is very saddening to see. It really pains me to see the condition, because the false is case, and even the judges, they know that, because there is no evidence, but the woman is taking maintenance from her ex-husband. The case is going on and on. She is not appearing on the dates before the court, but still the case is going, and no, there is no one to just dismiss. The judge is also not dismissing the case. So this becomes a place for helplessness for that man and his family. And also regarding the maintenance, if I tell, actually, if we talk about maintenance in our constitution, maintenance is actually, claimed by that spouse who is either earning less, or who is uneducated, or is not able to earn due to some reason. It may be the male or the female counterpart, but in most cases, 99.9% cases, we see that even if the wife is well educated, she is not working, and she will just claim a huge amount of either alimony or maintenance from the husband. Or even if she is working and earning a good amounts, she will try to hide her income, and then she will charge some kind of maintenance from the husband. But on the other hand, if the husband is not earning that much, but still he is bound to provide maintenance to his ex-wife, either he has to beg, borrow, or steal, or whatever he needs to do.
Absolutely. There have been judgments which say that beg, borrow, or steal, but you have to
Yes.
pay the maintenance. And in fact, these laws, when they were made, it was said that they've been made for destitute women who will have nowhere to go if there is a a situation of a divorce. But today we see that very, very educated, able-bodied women who are capable of maintaining themselves, women who are earning handsomely, women who are capable of earning, they go to the court and they say that we are helpless, and we need large amount of the husband's salary and his assets, and in the form of alimony, in the form of maintenance. they've actually made a mockery of this entire system, because world over, whenever there is wherever there are such laws or such situation, they see, they see how much the wife is earning, how much the husband is earning, what is their contribution in the, in the properties and all that. Here, whenever there is a demand, there is a demand of laws such as irretrievable breakdown of marriage amendment bill, which was coming in 2010, wherein it was demanded that whenever there is a divorce, the wife would get minimum 50% of the, assets of the husband, and even the, inheritable and inherited properties also. So these kinds of, draconian laws, they ask for in the name of equality, and then they say that we want to be treated equally. If you want to be treated equally, you have to take equal responsibilities when the relationship is not working out. If the relationship is not working out, everybody has to be capable enough to maintain themselves, work. And in fact, the maintenance should be for a stipulated period, till the time the wife is not able to get a job for herself. But here what is happening is that wives are leaving their job, they're incapacitating themselves, so that they can get maintenance in the court from the husband. That's the
Yes.
reality.
Yes, sir, that's a reality actually. And no, ये जो मुद्दा है पूरा जो marital rape का, the saddest part is that the judges, they even they know that this is a false case and the maintenance she is charging is, beyond the husband's limit, but still they will give a nod to that, and they will say that you have to give it or you have to pay the maintenance.
अब मेंटेनेंस, जब आप मैरिटल रेप के बारे में आप बात कर ही रहे हैं, तो देखिए मैरिटल रेप के लिए इतना पुश क्यों है? There are already laws, forget about forcible sex. Even if the husband holds the hand of the wife strongly without her will or consent, she can simply go and file a 498A case. She can, she's violated in a manner where there is unnatural sex. She can go and file 377. She can file 354. She can, if she's separated, she can file 376. ऐसा नहीं है कि कानून नहीं है, लेकिन इस तरीके से दिखाया जा रहा है कि कानून है ही नहीं इनकी प्रोटेक्शन के लिए। अब मुद्दा ये है कि आपको क्या मिलेगा इस तरीके से कानून लाके। सबसे पहली बात, you will be able to brand the husband as a rapist. आप उसको एक रेपिस्ट बोल पाएंगे जब भी एक मैरिज वर्क नहीं कर रही है, एंड यू वांट टू सैटिस्फाई योर वेंजेंस, यू वांट टू डिस्ट्रॉय द हस्बैंड, there will be a rape case against the husband, he will be labeled as rapist for his entire life, he will live with that stigma. उसके बाद जो बच्चे होंगे, नॉर्मली क्या होता है, कस्टडी केसेस में बैटल होते हैं और कस्टडी में कहा जाता है कि हमारे को विजिटेशन चाहिए। एक बारी जब हस्बैंड के ऊपर रेप का एलिगेशन लग जाएगा, he will never get the child custody, not even visitation. His own children will be taken away from him. Children will be deprived of the access to their own father, because and in fact they will be mocked at. Children would be say that you are a product of probably a marital rape. Yes. So what kind of generation, what kind of society we are actually heading towards, and why? Because if the marriage does not work, they want huge settlement amount, they want that marital rape का केस लगाएं, and जहां पर 498A और दूसरे केसेस में 2, 3, 4, 5 साल लग जाते हैं to come to a conclusion. For marital rape का केस लगाते ही there will be so much pressure mounted on the husband and his family that whatever demands are there from the wife's side, the monetary demands, out of court settlement, extortion, most of the cases the husband will say, okay, you take whatever we have and just let us go, because we cannot live this life of being called a rapist. So there is this intention behind getting this draconian law is really bad. It is anti-society. It is actually anti-national, because all these young men who are contributing towards the society, who are contributing towards the upliftment of our country, there's so many cases. Every marital dispute will have a potential to become a rape case in the times to come, if this way the marital rape law comes.
Yes, very true. And Mr. Lakhani, what message would you like to give to all our followers, as many of them, they already know you, they have seen you fighting for men's rights, especially the marital rape, that is which is the ongoing thing. So what message you have for all our followers?
Well, I would say that the future gender harmony in this country largely depends upon the younger generations understanding, understanding of the meaning of equality. How we uplift all citizens together. They have to understand that we need to uplift all citizens, not just one gender. They have to understand the concept of empowerment of one section should not deprive any other section of their fundamental right. That understanding has to be there in the new generation. They need to understand that how respect should be for every human being and not just one gender. People need to understand how the crime, the pain should not have a gender. We have actually genderized everything. In the influence of these radical feminists, we've genderized everything. There's a pain of a woman, people will be sensitive. There is a pain of a man, people are not sensitive. So we have to be equally sensitive towards the pain of everyone. The true meaning of equality lies in treating all citizens, equally, and everybody, irrespective of whatever their gender is, they deserve a life of a dignity, a life that they can live with pride. That's all, I have to say for the younger generation, for the people who are looking at what men's rights people are doing, because we are actually the ones who are talking about equal laws. We are not asking for anything special for us. We are not asking for any special laws for us, any special provisions the way feminists have been asking. We are only saying that just replace man and woman with person, and replace husband and wife with spouse, and that will be the true equality, the equality in true sense.
Yes. Yes, and as I told you that we are very sure that we will win this battle sooner or later. So, Mr. Lakhani, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an honor to have you with us, and that you took time from a busy schedule to have a conversation with us. And
thank you, Antara. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure, interacting with people who are open to other perspectives also. And we're always there to help and support all these men and their families, who've been deprived of their basic human rights, who've been falsely implicated. And once again, I would like to say that anybody who needs any sort of help from us, they can contact us through our helpline, which is 888-498-498. It's a completely free helpline, all India helpline for men in distress. We have our website through which they can contact us, www.menwelfare.in, and we are available at various platforms. And anybody who needs any sort of help and support, we are there for you always. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to more such conversations with you.
Sure.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.